Okay, so apparently we know about the GMA drama where these two co-hosts were entertaining each other and people supposedly had knew about it for a minute and they were in a relationship. Um and I know I had did a video over it a while back. I think TJ Holmes, Amy Robach, who are on Good Morning America. But I don't know, like I haven't watched Good Morning America like that. I really don't watch Good Morning America like that. But it's like I feel sorry for their spouses, but not really. Like, I mean, I do, but I don't because I feel that if they were in happy, loving relationships and their spouses was doing everything to make them happy, was doing everything for them, I don't feel like they would have wanted to go outside their relationship, if that makes sense. But I do know sometimes a person could just be married just to be married, and not to really be invested in it. So if that's the case, I do feel sorry for the the spouses. But also feel like this: if a person don't want to be with me, thank you for cheating on me. Thank you for treating me like crap so I can move on to that person who's going to love everything about me, be there for me. So it's like I feel sorry, but I don't because it's like they also know that the person that they was with don't really fool with them like that. Because I'm a person. I've been in relationships before, and I wasn't truly feeling the people I was with. It's just what it is. That's why today I kind of give people relationship advice and try to help them because I can spot it. Like, I mean, zero feelings. Like, of course, I didn't want them to have nothing bad happen to them, but like, I just was in it to look good for society, you know. And I feel bad for their children if they do have children. I think they do. That's the part that I hate because at the end of the day, it's like you have these innocent lives that are going to now be tarnished with this image of like there may or may not be true love out there. And love is false, which it is. It's pretty much false. Now, every now and then you'll find and come across that person for you in your lifetime that's meant for you, the person for you, and you're lucky for that. But everybody don't get to say that they met their person. Everybody don't get to say that they're in a happy, fulfilling relationship. A lot of people are just in relationships to make everybody not talk about them, which is very sad, but very true. Okay, so for that reason, it's a sad situation. But I don't feel like a person should lose their job for what they do outside of work. Because first of all, most people go to their job and they don't even really talk to all their associates. You know, however, I do feel like the people that was at the Good Morning America show were pretty close. So much so that they had said that they've been knowing about the dude cheating on his wife for years, this and that. And they've been knowing about the alleged affair for years. Close. Because I'm like this, like, I feel like when it steeps over into the workplace and that, yeah, that could be a problem. I don't want it to be, oh, they're losing their job because they're dating each other, because that has nothing to do with work. I want them to be like, oh, they're bringing their personal business into work. Now, I can see if they're being ridiculed and blamed for that, because I don't feel like everybody should know that they're dating. But you know how you get relationships with people at your job and they just talk and they just figure stuff out. Now, if that's the case, I also don't feel like they should be blamed because people just can tell that they got good chemistry together and maybe have dug deeper because they low key are jealous because they want that same chemistry for themselves, but don't really want to say it. And why is everybody going missing from the show? Like, Michael Strahan left for a couple days. I think Robin left for a couple days. Like, are y'all mad about this? Are y'all mad because they got fired? Or y'all mad because what? Like, actually, what are you actually mad at? Like, let us know, because I'm actually mad if they got fired for a relationship. But if you technically knew, what's there to get mad about now? Because you're friends with their spouses that they obviously don't care anything about. I'm sorry. It's just truth can hurt, but it is what it is. I'm sure they care to an extent because they would have never married the person if they didn't care somewhat. But love and care, or deep love or unconditional love, is two different things than just care. Because I care for flowers sometimes, I care for animals, but that's different from when you truly are invested in something and someone. So I don't even like the fact that people are putting their personal business out there to be talked about, to be ridiculed, to be judged. Like, technically, them going on a vacation trip together, going on a marathon together, what does it have to do with anything about what they can do personally in the workplace arena? You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that he grabbed her butt and on a mountain in the hills at a cabin on their while they were putting their luggage in the car. Why was that my business? Like, that has nothing to do with them doing something on the Good Morning Show. Like, I don't need to see that. But at the same time, they are public figures. And when you have public influence, people do hold you to a higher standard, and you're going to be grilled. You're going to be critiqued a lot more than what you are if you're just a common everyday person. But because, like, when I was working, I like a long hours at work or whatever. It's just like nobody was able to tell me who I went out of town with. Nobody was able to tell me who I went grocery shopping with, who I went on a marathon with. Like, that wasn't something I was just sharing. Or if I did share, it's like, oh, I went here. You know what I'm saying? My work life had nothing to do with my personal life. And I feel like they should just want to leave on their own if their work life has come in between or been intertwined with their personal life. Because to be honest, those are two separate things. That you don't go to work to think about your personal life. You don't go to work to, yeah, you may talk about your kids, but you go there to do a job. You go there to get a job done, go home. A lot of time, people, when they're at home, they do not care to talk about their work experiences or what they had go on at work. And a lot of times when they do talk about things that go on at work, it's not good for their household. And it's said to leave your work at work. However, a lot of times people shouldn't go to work to talk about their personal life. Let's say if they had an argument with their husband or an argument with their spouse, or their kids are driving them up a wall. Is that something that you normally go and tell your coworkers? Not necessarily, and it's not always the best fit, because then people are going to judge you, look at you differently, this and this and that. Now, I would say it would be different if they're just going around and saying, yeah, I'm dating this woman or this man that I go to work with every day. I don't care how nobody feels about it, this and that. I don't feel like that's what they was given. I feel like people were doing their due diligence to investigate chemistry that they obviously saw in each other, because it was apparent in a lot of clips that they were in, and people just dug deeper into it instead of minding their own business and saying, oh, well, they're just cool, they're married, they have good chemistry. Because there's a lot of people can be with the wrong people and have a lot of chemistry with other people. Like, that's common, because a lot of people jump into marriages for the wrong reasons. Namely, they want to have unbridled sex, undefiled sex, or they want to have kids, a family. But let's say you marry somebody quickly, have kids with somebody quickly, and then you meet your person, or you meet a person who checks all your boxes and dots all your boxes and crosses all your T's, and like dots your I's, crosses your T's. Like, what are you gonna do? Ignore that person exists in life? You can't ignore that. You can't ignore the person that's everything you ever wanted, everything you wanted to like think about, everything that you dream about. Like, it's hard to ignore a person like that. Just because you have a family with somebody, of course you're gonna regret that. Of course it's gonna be hard to you because you don't want to hurt people's feelings. But even in the end of the day, genuinely, why should you even care about hurting people's feelings or what people think. That's just how society is conditioned. It makes you feel like we are obligated to care, when in fact we're not obligated to give anybody any explanation, because they're not doing anything for us. They're not paying our bills, our rent, taking us on vacations, cruises, trips, making passionate love to us. Nobody's doing that for us. So in reality, we should not care as much as people think that we should care about how people feel about our lives, because our lives have nothing at all to do with anybody else. Now, like, I just need to know if these people are still on the show. I need to really Google it, because like I said, I don't really watch it, but I do feel like since things have come out, it's kind of been a dividing factor among the show and its co-hosts and cohorts, which is very, very sad, because I feel like people shouldn't be punished just because they in love with somebody. People should be punished because they enjoy every waking moment with a person. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, if they would have divorced their spouses, and which is kind of ideal for some people, and then they would have eventually came out that they were dating, would that made it any better? You know what I'm saying? It's like people would be like, oh, they just divorced their spouses for this person, like this. You gonna always have something to say, like, no matter if they do it behind the spouse's back or they do it after they leave their spouses. Like, who's to say that they weren't making plans to leave their spouses? But at the same time, it's also like people stay and stuff because they don't want to hurt their kids, they want to tarnish their relationship, care about what people think of them, and this and this and that. But in all overall, who you love genuinely does not matter or have anything to do with how you perform your job as a person. Like, overall, nothing at all to do with the other. And I just hope that these people can be okay, because at the end of the day, that's their livelihood. Like, I hope they're getting compensated, because I feel like a lawsuit could be at hand, because at the end of the day, it's like if they were flaunting their relationship, that's different. But if they were not flaunting their relationship openly and publicly, because even to this day, like, it's everything is speculation till they say out of their mouth, like, yeah, we're in a relationship, yeah, we're together. Because a person can take a trip with a business partner, a person can take a trip with a friend or relative. It doesn't really, matter, what somebody feels, or what somebody thinks. Because I can think a lot of stuff all day. That's one thing that I do. I make assumptions about a lot of stuff that I personally don't really know, because I'm not that person and nobody's personally told me things. So at the end of the day, everything is an assumption, and to lose your job based on an assumption, because it wasn't like nobody caught them in the bed together, nobody caught them kissing each other. Just because you walking by somebody, it's plenty of time you walk by somebody and you put your hand there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people are making a mountain out of all this, and I just don't understand, like, this is affecting their livelihood. You just can't play with people's lives, play with people's emotions, and make them feel bad for being with a person they truly care about. I feel like it is deeper than just friendship. And that's special. That's a special bond. It's a special connection that people shouldn't tear down, shouldn't tear apart. And I feel like more people should try to find that. And I feel they need to let their spouses down generally. And this is just making it worse for their spouses. What do you think?